Now that we've spoken about the positions and roles in League of Legends, what's next? Well, the game starts out with something called a laning phase, and during this time you'll go head to head versus your counterparts while trying to gather gold by farming creeps. While supports and junglers won't be farming these creeps during the laning phase, this video will still be great for you to watch to make sure you understand what creeps do and how they work. So, what are creeps? Well, creeps, also known as minions, are AI-controlled NPCs that just run down each of the lanes and fight whatever they run into first. Depending on which wave it is, that creep wave will either have 6 or 7 creeps inside it. Creeps will first appear on the map at 1 minute and 5 seconds, and then they will spawn every 30 seconds for the rest of the game in every single lane. Now it's important to note that all the minion waves spawn at the exact same time, so you can track enemy minion waves depending on where your own are. This will be really important in the future when we get into creep wave control. Overall, you'll run into 4 different types of creeps while playing League of Legends. However, every single wave will always have 2 of them. That's going to be 3 caster creeps and 3 melee creeps. The caster creeps will attack from a short range away and deal more damage, but they have less health. The melee creeps will deal less damage, but they have more health, so they're a little bit harder to kill. The third creep that you'll run into most often is going to be the cannon creeps. When these creeps spawn, they are extremely healthy and deal more damage than both the melee and the caster creeps combined, and they'll attack from a short range. Now, they spawn every 3 waves, starting at 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Then they'll spawn every 2 waves at 20 minutes and 5 seconds, and they'll spawn every single wave after 35 minutes and 5 seconds. Cannon creeps won't spawn if a super creep is in the wave. Well, what is a super creep? Well, a super creep is a creep that can only spawn when an inhibitor is destroyed. So let's take mid lane, blue team versus red team. Let's say blue team destroys red team's inhibitor. Once that inhibitor is destroyed, a super creep on blue team in the mid lane will start spawning every single wave. Once the red inhibitor has respawned, that blue super creep in mid lane will no longer respawn. During the time a super creep is spawning, remember that a cannon creep will not spawn. So we have an understanding of what creeps we'll run into, but what are they for? Well, specifically they're mostly for the top laner, the mid laner, and the AD carry in the bot lane. When you last hit a creep, you will gain gold. Now remember that this is the last hit. It doesn't matter how much damage you do to the creep while it's alive, as long as you hit it and that's the final blow to it. Once a creep has been last hit, you'll gain gold. 21 gold for the melee minions, 14 gold for the caster minions, and for both cannon and super minions, they start out at 60 gold and scale up to 90 gold throughout the game. The last thing I want to note is that while I did briefly mention that creeps will run down lanes and attack whatever they run into first, that's not entirely true. They do have a small target priority system, which we'll post right here and also in the description below, so you can read more on that. However, what I do want to talk about are 2 creep specific mechanics which are going to be really important to understand. The first one, and by far the most important one, is that champion single target spells and auto attacks draw minion aggro, but nothing else. So if you shoot a skill shot, or if it's an AoE ability, you will not get minion aggro. However, if you use anything that's single target, so again auto attacks or a single target spell, the minions will aggro you. This is really important to understand when you're playing a certain class that might have a little bit of both, and you want to understand how to harass an enemy while you're also in an enemy creep wave. The second mechanic, and one that is much more situational, is how to reset the minion aggro. Now usually you would just run out of their range, but you can also hard CC them. Let's take Riven for example. Watch as she walks up to the enemy champion and auto attacks it within the creep wave. All of the enemy minions start attacking her, but when she uses her W, which is an AoE stun, all the creeps get stunned and then go back to attacking the minions. So their targeting system has reset. Alright guys, well that's it for our creep video. If you want to learn more, you can check out the article at our website ladderup.gg, which should be ready really soon. We're also doing a $10 RP giveaway at 100 subscribers. To enter, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and like and comment on one of these beginner guides to be entered. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.